You know, after 43 years on this bench, I've seen greed twist families into shapes I never thought possible. Children fighting over a parent's last dollar, siblings turning on each other the moment the funeral ends, but rarely does a daughter stand before me accused of forging her own mother's will after the woman was already in the ground. On that cold January afternoon in Detroit, a 34-year-old daughter sat in my courtroom, calm and collected, insisting her mother had rewritten the will just weeks before dying of cancer, leaving the entire $1.4 million estate to her alone, cutting out her two younger brothers who had cared for their mother in her final months. What she didn't know, what sent shockwaves through the courtroom and left her begging for mercy on her knees, was that the new will she presented had been typed on a computer font that didn't exist until 2 years after her mother's death. When the forensic document examiner took the stand and read the time-stamped metadata aloud, the daughter's composure shattered, her lies collapsed, and in that moment of savage revelation, the woman who tried to steal her brother's inheritance ended up pleading for forgiveness while the entire room sat in stunned, tearful silence. This wasn't just about a piece of paper. This was a daughter who had watched her mother suffer through chemo, who had been handed the keys to the family home during hospice, who had promised her dying mother she'd take care of the boys, only to forge a will that erased them completely, claiming the house, the savings, the life insurance proceeds, everything. The confrontation wasn't dramatic yelling, it was quiet, methodical, devastating evidence that peeled away every layer of her story until nothing was left but the truth. Before I take you through every crushing, mercy-begging second of that hearing, hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, click it. Because stories like this show how far some people will go to rewrite a parent's final wishes and how fast justice can expose the forgery. Drop a comment telling me, could you ever forgive a sibling who forged your mother's will to take everything? This one's going to leave you speechless. I've been a probate judge in Wayne County, Michigan since 1982. That's 43 years of reading last wills and testaments written in love, in fear, in anger, and sometimes in forgery. Every morning I arrive at 7 Noir, make my coffee, black, no sugar, the way my father drank it after long shifts at the auto plant, and remind myself that a will is more than paper. It's a person's final voice. My clerk, Denise, who's been with me for 28 years, knows when a contested will smells wrong from the first page. That January morning, she handed me the probate petition and said quietly, "Judge, daughter petitioning to admit a lost holographic will. Brothers contesting say it's forged. Forensic report is in. And the daughter, she's acting like she already won." The file was a textbook of deception. Petitioner, Lauren Bennett, 34, marketing executive. Contestants, brothers Ryan, 31, and Tyler, 28, both blue-collar workers who lived locally and cared for their mother. Estate, $1.4 million, house, $480K, investments, $720K, life insurance, $200K. The 2018 will, notarized, divided everything equally among the 3 children. The new holographic will, undated, handwritten, allegedly found in a shoebox after death, left 100% to Lauren with a note, "My boys are strong. Lauren needs this to start her life over." Signature looked shaky. No witnesses. Brothers claimed forgery. Lauren claimed their mother wrote it in secret because she didn't trust the boys with money. The courtroom was packed. Lauren's fiancé in the front row, Ryan and Tyler with their wives, their mother's old neighbor who'd been with her at hospice, and the forensic document examiner waiting to testify. At 1:40 p.m., Denise called it, "In re-estate of Margaret Bennett, petition to admit lost holographic will, contest filed." Lauren entered first, tailored blazer, confident smile, folder in hand. Ryan and Tyler came next. Work clothes, eyes tired but determined. I started with the basics. "Ms. Bennett, you're asking the court to admit a holographic will allegedly written by your mother shortly before her death. Explain how it was discovered." Lauren's voice was smooth. "Your Honor, after Mom passed, I was cleaning her closet. I found a shoebox with old letters. Tucked inside was this handwritten page. It's her writing, shaky because of the chemo, but hers. She wanted me to have everything. She told me privately she was worried about Ryan and Tyler spending it on cars and bad habits." Ryan stood. "That's a lie. Mom told us, all 3, she wanted it equal. She said it in hospice with the nurse there. Lauren was the one who handled the paperwork. She had power of attorney. She could have written anything." I asked Lauren, "Did your mother execute any formal will change before death?" Lauren shook her head. "No, she was too sick. This was her last wish, handwritten like she always did her notes." I admitted the contested document. Then I called the forensic examiner. "Dr. Patel, your report." The doctor took the stand, calm, precise. The document is written in ballpoint pen on paper consistent with modern stock. Ink analysis shows it contains pigment formulas introduced in 2021, 2 years after Mrs. Bennett's death in 2019. The handwriting has similarities to Ms. Bennett's exemplars, but shows tremor inconsistencies and lift patterns indicative of tracing or slow imitation. Most damning, the font bleed and pressure analysis indicate it was written over a printed template, a template created on Microsoft Word 2016 or later, with metadata time-stamped March 2022. The courtroom gasped. Lauren's smile vanished. I displayed the report. Side-by-side comparisons. Ms. Bennett, how do you explain a will dated before your mother's death being written with ink and on paper that didn't exist until 2021? Lauren stammered. I must have misremembered the date. Maybe she wrote it earlier and I found it later, I pressed. The handwriting expert says the signature was traced from your mother's 2018 will signature. Same loops, same lift points, same hesitation marks. You traced it. You created the document after her death. You forged it. Lauren's face crumpled. I was scared. Mom told me she wanted me to have more. The boys, they'd waste it. I thought if I just helped her wish along. Ryan stood. You helped yourself. Mom died begging us to stay close. You turned her death into a payday. You took the house she loved, the savings she worked for. You stole from us, from her memory. Tyler added quietly, we took care of her. We changed her diapers, fed her when she couldn't hold a spoon. You visited twice a week for show. Then you forged her last words. Lauren started sobbing, deep, wrenching. I'm sorry. I didn't think it would hurt this bad. I loved Mom. I wanted security. Please forgive me. I'll give it all back. I'll sell the house. Just don't hate me. The courtroom was crying. Ryan's wife, Tyler's wife, the neighbor who'd known Margaret for 40 years. Even Lauren's fiancé looked away. I let the silence sit, heavy, full of grief. Then I ruled, voice low, furious, final. The court finds the proffered holographic will is a forgery, created post-mortem by petitioner with intent to defraud the estate and other heirs. The 2018 notarized will is admitted as the true last will and testament, estate to be divided equally among the 3 children per its terms. All assets transferred or concealed by petitioner are ordered returned to the estate within 60 days, including proceeds from any sales. Compensatory damages to contestants, $150,000 each for emotional distress, loss of inheritance enjoyment, and litigation costs. Punitive damages, $750,000 for willful fraud, forgery, and bad faith probate interference. Total judgment against petitioner, $1,050,000, plus attorney fees of $92,000. Referral to the Wayne County prosecutor for felony forgery, uttering and publishing, and fraud on the court. Bailiff, take Ms. Bennett into custody pending arraignment. I looked at Lauren, now on her knees, sobbing into her hands. Ms. Bennett, you didn't just forge a signature, you forged your mother's voice after she could no longer speak. You stole from her sons. You turned grief into greed. Mercy is for those who show remorse before the evidence forces it. You waited until you were caught. Now you face the consequences. Lauren looked up through tears. Your Honor, please, I'll pay. I'll do anything. Ryan, Tyler, I'm sorry. Mom would hate this. I hate this. Forgive me, right? Please. Ryan spoke, voice thick. Mom would have wanted us to be family, but you broke that. We'll take the money, not for revenge for what she wanted, but forgiveness? That's going to take time, a lot of time. I banged the gavel once. Judgment entered, defendant remanded, court in recess. As Lauren was cuffed and let out, still crying, Ryan and Tyler hugged each other, then their aunt. The courtroom stood, not in celebration, but in quiet sorrow for a family that might never fully heal. 8 months later, Ryan wrote me. She took a plea, 3 years probation, full restitution, community service at a hospice. We sold the house and split the money. Tyler and I visit Mom's grave together now. We talk about her, not about Lauren. Thank you for making the truth loud enough to be heard. Stories like this scar the soul. A daughter can forge her dying mother's will to take everything. But when the ink analysis and the metadata speak, even the cleverest lie crumbles, and mercy becomes a plea she has to beg for. If this left you stunned and heartbroken, yet if you believe a parent's last wishes should be sacred, hit that like button, subscribe for more courtroom moments where forgeries get exposed and truth wins, and share this with anyone who's ever had to fight for what a loved one wanted. Comment below, should forging a parent's will carry jail time or is restitution enough? Thank you for listening. God bless the voices that speak after death, through wills, through memories, through the children left behind. Check the next video. Another will forgery case with an even darker twist is waiting. Take care of your family's final words. They're the last gift they can give and the hardest to protect.